Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, guys. My name is Liaquat. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. Right, we are going through Mukhtasar al-Qudoori. Right, so this is the last part of Kafala. So let me know what you guys think of this series so far. Put in the comments, inshallah, if you guys are benefiting from this. If you guys are teachers and you're using this, if you're students and you're using this, let me know, inshallah. وَإِذَا تَكَفَّلَ. So تَكَفَّلَ يَتَكَفَّلُ, we've done this before. It means to guarantee something. Thaman is price. Mabi is the goods. Yasihu is valid. Stajara is to hire, to rent. Bi'ayniha specifically. Jazat, permissible. Wahida is one. Makful lahu, the person for whom the kafala is being done. Debt, dain. Ithnain is two, all these words. Sharik is from the word sharika, yashraku. Damin is responsible, legally responsible. Ghurama are the creditors, the one that have borrowed the money. And then fayarji, raja yarju, to go back. Nisf is half. Adarahu, it's supposed to be addahu, no adarahu. Inna Allah. Addahu. Right, so ma addahu. Addahu, yarji. Tajuzu, permissible. Abd, slave. Kitaba is the concept of mukataba, financial freedom of the slave. Yatruk, takaffala. Alright, so you got the idea of that. Alright, let's have a look at the tarkeeb side of it then. وإذا تكفل. Alright, so تكفل is فعل عن المشتري, so فعل plus the file. مشتري بالثمن جار مجرور. جاز يجوز. وإن تكفل عن البائع بالمبيع لم يصح, so لم يصح. ومن استأجر, let me know why it's لم يصح, okay, even though there's لم. ومن استأجر فعل فاعل دابة مفعول به للحمل جار مجرور. فإن كانت, this is the ism of the كانت, goes back to دابة. بعينها لم تصح الكفالة في الفاعل بالحمل. وإن كانت بغير عينها مضاف مضاف إليه جازت الكفالة في الفاعل. ولا تصح الكفالة إلا بقبول المكفول له في مجلس العقد مضاف مضاف إليه في مسألة إلا في مسألة واحدة، وهي أن يقول المريض لوارثه تكفل فعل أمر عني بما علي من الدين فتكفل به مع غيبة الغرماء جاز. وإذا كان الدين اسم كان على اثنين وكل واحد منهما كفيل ضامن عن آخر فما أدى. Don't know why this is أدرى. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Supposed to be أدى. أحدهما لم يرجع على شريكه جار مجرور حتى يزيد. Maybe that's one of the benefits of going through each word's tarkeeb. You find the mistakes. So يؤدي فعل فاعل على النصف فيرجع بالزيادة. وإذا تكفل اثنان فعل فاعل عن رجل بألف جار مجرور على أن كل واحد منهما كفيل عن صاحبه فما again أداه. أحدهما يرجع بنصفه على شريكه قليلا كان أو كثيرا. ولا تجوز الكفالة في الفاعل بمال الكتابة. حر تكفل, so حر تكفل به أو عبد. وإذا مات, let me know why these are مرفوع. مات الرجل وعليه ديون, so خبر مقدم ديون. ولم يترك شيئا فتكفل رجل عنه الغرماء لم تصح الكفالة في الفاعل عن أبي حنيفة وقال تصح. Right, so let's crack on. Let's try to understand what is basically happening over here. So this is the what we call the person who needs kafala, makful anhu. Okay, and this is the kafil, Mr. Kafil. So let's say, for example, the makful, the kafil, is guaranteeing the seller. Right, so the seller is here. The seller is selling this guy a washing machine. All right, so the washing machine, and the kafil says, I will take care of it. I will take care of it. Yeah, so whatever price it is, if he doesn't pay the money, then that money is going to come from me. So are you allowed to become a kafil for a mushtari? Yes or no? Right, so that short answer is yes. إذا تكفل عن المشتري, if the kafil becomes a kafil for the mushtari, in this case the makful anhu, بالثمن, with the price, جاز, it's jais. The other way around is not allowed. So you cannot become the kafil, you can't have a kafil. So this guy over here, he can't become a kafil for the seller. Right? He can't say basically, if he doesn't give you the washing machine, I'll give you. So you can't do that. So this is not allowed. Right? So you cannot become a kafil of the goods in a sale, because the goods in a sale are something fixed and they can't change. So if this washing machine had been agreed upon for them to give, then it would not be permissible for him to, the kafil, to give another washing machine. Right? So he wouldn't be allowed to do that. So وَإِن تَكَفَّلَ عَنْ بَيْءٍ, if a kafil became the kafil on behalf of the seller, بالمبيع, of delivery of the goods, لم يصح, this would not be valid at all. Right? So kafil of the mushtari is jais, kafil of the seller is not jais. Make sense? Okay, next. Now, let's say, for example, the same concept happened over here, but in a different scenario. So let's say, for instance, this is the kafil, and this is the customer. This is the customer, the guy who's hiring, that we call the mustajir. Yeah, the guy who is hiring. Right, he's hiring. He wants to hire an animal. Right, so this, for example, he wants to hire this animal to carry some goods for himself. Now, they've gone to a guy who hires animals. So this is the mujir, the lesser, or the one that hires out. And they've said that, I want to hire this. So therefore now, man istajara. Right, so whoever hires a dabba, so this guy, he's hired an animal, dabbatan, this one, lilhamli, in order to carry goods on top of the animal. فَإِنْ كَانَتْ بِعَيْنِهَا, if the animal is a specific one they've chosen, this one, let's call him Harry. Yeah, we want Harry. We want Harry, this exact one we want. The kafil is not allowed to do kafala of that specific Harry. Right? He's not allowed to do kafala of that exact one. Right? So, lam tasih al-kafalatu bil-hamli. However, if it's just any animal, if he said, for example, like, just give me, just give me any animal. Okay, any. Now, the kafil is able to provide any animal. So this one would be considered to be valid. So this one is not valid, and this one is valid. All right. So he says, وَإِن كَانَتْ بِغَيْرِ عَيْنِهَا, however, if it's something which is non-specific, he just said, I just need an animal to carry my goods, that's sufficient. جَازَتْ الْكَفَالَةُ. All right. 2 maslas are done so far now. Now let's look at the next one now. Okay, let's do some over here, just to make it a bit more balanced here. Right, so let's say, for example, now if there is, for example, like a guy, right? So this is the makful anhu, and this is the kafil, Mr. Kafil, and of course over here you have the makful lahu. The rule basically is you have to get permission of the makful lahu to do kafala. Yeah, so makful lahu has to be happy in order for this to go through. If the makful lahu is not made aware, you cannot have a kafil. Kafils are only allowed with the consent of the makful lahu. You have to get permission. There's only one scenario where you actually don't need to get the makful's permission. Right, it's one scenario. Right, so what is that one scenario? So it says, وَلَا تَصِحُّ الْكَفَالَةُ Kafala is not valid إِلَّا بِقَبُولِ except with the acceptance of the مَكْفُولَ له. This guy has to be happy. في مجلس العقد, when they do the contract. So when they're doing the contract, the مَكْفُولَ له says, right, you know what, I'm not happy with it. They cannot have a kafil. إِلَّا فِي مَسْأَلَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ except in one case. It's a very rare case, and this is the case of the guy who's on his deathbed. Right, we're going to call it the guy on his deathbed. So, for example, like let's say the مَكْفُول عنه, he is on his deathbed. Yeah, I'm dying. So he's dying, he's on his deathbed. And the kafil, in this case, he tells the kafil to, which in this case is his heir, right? So the one that he's basically in charge of his assets. So he's saying to his heir, from my money, when I die, from my money, can you pay off the debt I owe to the مَكْفُول له? Can you pay that off? So this he's saying outside of the presence of the مَكْفُول له. But still it's considered to be acceptable. Right? It's allowed. Yeah. So وَهِيَ أَنْ يَقُولَ is where the marid, the ill person who's dying, the مَكْفُول عنه, in this case, says to his heir, who's also the kafil, تَكَفَّلْ عَنِّي, become my kafil on my behalf, بِمَا عَلَيَّ, that which I owe. So whatever I owe, right, give it to that guy. مِنَ الدَّيْنِ, of debt. فَتَكَفَّلَ بِهِ, so then the heir, he becomes a kafil. مَعَ غَيْبَةِ الْغُرَمَاء, despite the absence of, غَيْبَ means absence, absence of the غُرَمَاء is debtors, or the creditors, جَازَ, right, then it's considered jais. Make sense? Straightforward. Right, let's do another scenario. This is quite easy, this is fun. Alright, so let's try another scenario now. Okay, next scenario. Let's have a look at how we're going to do this. So let's say, for example, two people. Different color. Alright, two people. Each of them, they owe a debt to this guy over here. So both of them, they both owe, let's say, £1,000 to this guy. Yeah, so they got a debt. So they both owe a debt to this guy. Now what happens basically is they made this rule that whatever each one pays to this guy, they cannot get reimbursed by the other guy until they have paid off half. Yeah, so unless they have paid off half, they can't. So for example, remember, he owes 500. He owes 500. So if this guy has, let's say, for example, argument's sake, let's say he's paid £200, he can't reclaim that £200. So that £200 gets cut off his. So now he's only got 300 left. Yeah, and then if this guy pays, let's say, £400, then he's got 100 left. Now it's only after they cross the halfway mark, right? Cross their share, their 500. That's only when now they can reclaim. So let's say, for example, this guy has paid 200. Now this guy has paid, let's say, 300 now. Yeah, plus 300. So now, why have I written 1,000 there? Silly. Okay, so let's say 300, so that's minus 300, so that's minus 200 now. He's into minus 200. He can now reclaim this minus 200 that he's in. He can reclaim it from this guy. He can say, right, look, I've paid off 200 of yours. Pay me 200. So now this guy would now pay him 200. Right, so that's basically how this is going to work. So let's have a look. So إذا كان الدين على اثنين, if there's two people and they both have a debt, let's say £1,000. وكل واحد, and each one of them two is considered to be a kafil, ضامن, and held themselves responsible, عن الآخر, فما أدى, for the other, فما أدى, so whatever one of them pays off, أحدهما pays off, لم يرجع به, he does not take back على شريكه حتى, he doesn't go back to his sharik, حتى يزيد, until he exceeds ما يؤديه, of what he's paid, على النصف, of half. Right, so like I said to you, as long as they go over their half, because 1,000, half of that is 500, and they're both sharing the same amount. فيرجع, in that case, once he's gone past 500, يرجع بزيادة, wherever goes beyond the 500, so like over here, he's gone over by 200, so he can now reclaim that from his partner. Yeah. Okay, straightforward, straightforward. Easy, easy peasy. All right, next. These are like easy masalas. All right, next now. So let's say, for instance, تكفل اثنان. So there's two people over here, and both these two people have done kafala. So both of these are kafil number one, kafil number two. All right, so kafil number one, kafil number two. Both of these have actually done kafala on behalf of one man. So this one man is the makful anhu. Yeah. So both of these have become the kafil for this one man, and they're going to pay off his 1,000. So he owes 1,000 to, let's say, Joe Blogs, Mr. Joe Blogs. He owes him 1,000. He is the makful lahu. 1,000 has to come to him. So now what happens here is this. So remember, both of them are going to pay that 1,000. So whatever each one pays, he can take half from the other guy. So let's say, for example, this guy pays 200. So he can actually get back 100 from this guy. Yeah, so 100 from this guy. And if this guy, the other guy has paid, let's say, 400, he can get back 200 from this guy. Yeah, 200 from this guy. Like that. So whatever they've paid, they don't have to go over halfway mark. Whatever they pay, they can get the other half from the other guy. Right, simple as that, simple as that, very easy. إذا تكفل اثنان, when two people, in this case two kafils, they have done kafala on behalf of one man, بألف of 1,000, على, on the condition أن كل واحد, that each one of these two is كفيل عن صاحبه, on behalf of his partner, فما أداه, whatever one of them pays, أحدهما يرجع, he gets back half of it, على شريكه قليلا, whether the amount is small, like let's say he's 200, كان أو كثيرا, or it's a large amount. Yeah, straightforward. All right, next. ولا تجوز الكفالة. Kafala is not jaiz. بمال كتابة. So let's say, for example, there is a kafil, and there is a master who has told his slave, Mawla, has told his slave, you pay me 1,000 and you go free. So this is a slave, he wants to do kitaba, so he's become a mukatab. Remember, if he's able to pay the amount, he literally gets freedom. That's the idea. So now, can this guy become a kafil? Can he become a kafil on behalf of the slave, and then say, well, look, if your slave doesn't pay you the 1,000, I'll pay you the 1,000. Is that considered allowed? So the answer is no. لا تجوز الكفالة. Kafala is not jaiz بمال الكتابة, with the mal al-kitaba. حر تكفل به, whether the kafil is a free man or whether he's a slave. Because this debt is not a strong debt. They call this a weak debt, because the debt can be cancelled out without payment. So this is considered a weak debt. So weak debts, you cannot become kafils for weak debts. It has to be a strong debt. Right? So a strong debt is a debt which can either be waived by the original guy, the creditor, or it can be fulfilled by paying it. Whereas this mukatab, it can also drop if the guy can't pay. It gets cancelled out. So if you can get cancelled out, then you don't pay that. All right. Now let's say, for example, like there is a guy, last masla now. There's a guy over here. And this guy, this is a kafil. Right, his relative died. And the relative, he owed money to people. Right, so he's dead, RIP. And he owed money, let's say he owed £500 to someone. Now, if he did not make this guy his kafil, the kafil is not allowed to become a kafil on his behalf. This kafala will not be considered to be valid. Of course, the payment will be done, but it won't be considered to be valid. Right, so this is an ikhtilafi masala. إذا مات الرجل وعليه ديون. A guy dies and upon him are debts. Right, so this is the guy RIP, he's got £500 debt. وَلَمْ يَتْرُكْ شَيْئًا. He didn't leave anything behind. His money is finished. فَتَكَفَّلَ. So then a man comes along, a generous, nice guy comes along, and he's done kafala on his behalf to the ghurama. Fine. Debt's paid off. However, the kafala will not be valid. This kafil cannot go back now to the family and say, well, I paid your dad's kafala, your debts. I want the money back. He can't do that. According to Imam Hanifa, according to the Sahibain, yes, this actually can happen. They're saying that this would be counted as a valid kafala, right? That's it. That's the ikhtilaf over there. All right, so there you go, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this. So let's see, what did we cover today? Remember, this is the last lesson of kafala, and then inshallah after that we will start the next chapter. All right, so first question. Can a person become a kafil for a mushtari, for a buyer? Yes, he can. Can a person become a kafil for a seller? No, he can't. Why can't he? Because the goods are specific and he doesn't have the ability to get those goods. Okay, next one. Can a kafil become a kafil on someone's behalf without asking the makful lahu's consent? No, he can't. Is there any scenario that's an exemption to this? We say yes, the guy who's dying and he leaves someone as a kafil, that's the one case where it's allowed, without the makful lahu's permission. Okay, let's say for example, like there is a guy who wants to hire an animal. Can someone become a kafil for guaranteeing the animal? If it's a specific animal, no, he can't. If it's a non-specific animal, then yes, he can. Right. Okay, next masala. If there's a person two people who they want to do kafala of a man, and they both owe money to a man and they want to do kafala of each other. So when can they get the other person to reimburse them? So we say they can get reimbursed once they hit the halfway mark. Once they have paid off half of the money, then whatever's on top of that, they can get the money back from the other person. Okay, can a person who has the same thing again, two people have done kafala of another person, and they have guaranteed each other that they will do kafala of each other, can they get back their money from the other person? So we say yes, it doesn't matter how much it is, they can get back half of whatever they paid. So even if they're given £1 or £1,000, they can get half of it back from the other person. Okay, and what about the mukatab? Can a mukatab have a kafil? So we say no, mukatab can't have a kafil because it's a weak debt. And finally, ikhtilafi masala, what does Abu Hanifa say if a person died, did not leave any money behind, and someone else wants to become a kafil on his behalf? Is that allowed? We say no, that is not allowed. Sahibain say yes, yes. Khalas. Hope you guys enjoy this, guys. Let me know in the comments how much you like my channel, you like these videos, and you like me. And thank you to all my patrons who support my channel on a monthly basis. May Allah bless all of you people. If you guys want to become patrons, if you guys want to support my channel, think, you know what, I need something to support. I want to support a good cause. Inshallah, this is going to be a good cause. Support my channel, help my work to grow so that I can make videos free of charge for people around the world to watch and benefit from it. Remember, it's all sadaqah jariyah. So if you want to become a patron, check in the description below. At the end, you'll see this sign, a patron sign, where you can just click on it and you can check out the perks as well for people who are patrons. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much, guys. May Allah bless all of you people. Make dua for me and my channel. I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.